All right. Hello and welcome, Just a Family. This is giving you something to talk about or just a live TV. I am your host, Melissa Krechler. I'm an identity coach and a spiritual teacher. Today's episode is sponsored by a Phoenix identity because we all need to put our identity first. And that's what a Phoenix identity does is they light up and set fire to whatever is no longer serving you, helps you reclaim your identity and take charge of your life so that you can create a happy and healthy life that you love for yourself. So today's episode, we are going to be talking about how to age well. And I think aging well is something that all of us would like to do. I'm 38. I would like to age well and not look like I'm 90 when I'm 70 or feel like I'm 90 when I'm 70. So, and to anybody who is, I apologize if you take that offensively, my apologies. So anyway, I'm going to introduce our guest co-host today, who's going to be talking all about this with us, and that is Elisabeth Kolenko. And I hope I said that properly. Please take a moment and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Elisabeth. I am the founder of Living Well with Elisabeth. I am a certified yoga teacher. I have over 500 hours in certification. I do Yin, Hatha, Chair Yoga. I'm working on Yoga Nidra, which is all about, mentally just sitting and relaxing and listening to a voice. And I'm a certified holistic health and wellness coach.
Very nice. So with health and wellness coaching and with everything you do, what do you focus on? What's your biggest focus?
So I believe that kind of yoga is the place to start because it's all about stretching and offering some sort of movement because we all need to keep moving. As much as we pretend that we can sit in a chair endlessly or surf Netflix and binge watch everything we want, we actually have to be moving. So yoga is a place to start because I teach a gentle stretch. It's not all about power yoga and that sort of thing, just to start you moving. And that can lead you into other places, like being able to go for that walk or the bike ride or hang out with your kids or grandkids. Just a place to start.
Absolutely. I like yoga. I don't do yoga right now. I've been thinking about it and I'd like to start. But I find with yoga, even my mother-in-law, she's done Tai Chi. And I find that yoga, Tai Chi, and very quite a few other physical activities, even dancing, right? Dancing while you're cleaning. No matter what it is, when you're doing that physicality, but you put the mindset into it, you put the energy into it, you feel your body, your breathing, what you're doing, the stretches, it's a gentle, it's supposed to be a gentle movement that not only feeds your body, but it feeds other aspects of your life. And not to get too much into the spiritual side of that, but it does, it feeds in to your body, mind, and spirit. And that's what we're talking about today, right? Aging well, body, mind, and spirit health. And I love that. And I love that you incorporate that into it. I remember we were doing the pre-screening interview and I was talking about somebody I love who's struggling, and you talked about doing yoga sitting in a chair. And that's a great place to start. I know for a few people that I know, that's great, but eventually it's getting up. Right? It's getting up and doing little things and even just starting. A lot of people assume that aging well, you have to, do the face cream and healthy eating and healthy lifestyle and everything that you're doing. It doesn't have to be that complicated though. It doesn't have to be that detailed. So you're saying yoga, for you, it's yoga. What about yoga do you love the most that you think helps promote aging well?
So for me, the yoga, it offers a gentle stretch. I find as we age, things start to stiffen up, or you may wake up one morning and your shoulder is sore. And people used to say, oh, it's sore, I'm going to protect it, I'm not going to use that shoulder. That's exactly the wrong thing to be doing. We need to keep moving, but it may be your range of motion has changed for a couple of days until you can get that shoulder, that arm to reach right up again like it used to. So with gentle yoga, with chair yoga, it is all about continuing that range of motion and doing what feels right for you. If halfway is as far as you get that day, then that's as far as you go. Do not push yourself. Feel good about what you're doing. And I look at yoga, and it is the first step. Yeah, we talk about food and whatnot, but it doesn't have to be all about cold creams and all sort of that. Eat back to the basics. Go back to an apple instead of processed things, right?
Well, and that's what we were talking about before we started the live. Is I apologized to Elisabeth before we even started the live, and I said, please ignore the fact if my stomach is rumbling while we're doing the show. And if any of you can hear it, just know that might happen. But I ate something I shouldn't have right before the show. My daughter wanted something that wasn't the healthiest, and because I only had like 30 minutes until the show, I was like, hey, what do you want? And so I made her what she wanted, and it doesn't sit well with me. And I think even just knowing what sits well in your body and what doesn't sit well in your body, that's a great first step for gut health, for eating healthy, is what makes me feel energized, what makes me feel good, what, going into your adult years and as you get older, eating the same stuff that you ate when you were. I had a family member, that person could eat 3 plates at Thanksgiving dinner. And then my husband's laughing at me. He's like, really? He knows exactly what I ate too. And so he would eat like 3 plates of Thanksgiving dinner and then a whole pie to himself in one meal. And his metabolism, he was always very thin, very petite, very healthy. But at what age does that stop, right? So you've got to constantly, and as an identity coach, you have to constantly be asking yourself, is this still good? I like to eat con queso with Tostitos. And, as I get older, it's like, I talk to another co-host and she's like, I can't eat that anymore. Like that just doesn't work for my system anymore. And I'm like, yeah, it's getting to know what works for you food wise and what doesn't work for you. Obviously, water is going to be a huge number one, but what else? What else are you consuming in a day? Do you feel tired after? Do you feel sluggish after? Is your stomach all gurgly and making noises after? Do you have, like so many different things.
Yeah. So you start to look at especially as you age, our body changes. You look at, maybe something that you ate in your teens and 20s really agreed with you. You loved it, no problems. As you're hitting 30s, 40s and going forward, it doesn't agree with you anymore. So your body has shifted. Maybe you can't eat that entire pie after, 3 plates of dinner and still fit into your pants and feel comfortable, or you're gaining weight as a result of it because your metabolism has changed. So you start to kind of have to be a little more conscious. What are you eating? Instead of having all the sugar that you usually had or whatever, go back to the basics, go back to the apple, go back to the salad, and sure, have a piece of pie. Don't eat the whole pie, right? Certainly allow yourself something. In my opinion, we live a long life. You want to have a good life. You want to enjoy it as much as you can. So I'm going to have that piece of pie.
Yeah.
But within limits here.
Yeah. I don't, and that's one of the things I like to do. And I'm actually, we're going to be doing a topic about this in end of May, June, on healthy lifestyle, but I'm totally blanked where I was going with that, but it is, there we go. Moderation, right? It's all in moderation. I want to be able to eat what I want to eat. I want to be able to do what I want to do. Right now, I'm sitting over 200 pounds. I'm 5'9". I'm an unhealthy weight. I'm an unhealthy body style and an unhealthy lifestyle. Every episode, you'll see me drinking Pepsi. I'm a smoker, right? So I even have to start doing that. And I've been thinking about that more often since I started the show. What do I need to do to make sure that my ability to do this show for as long as I can stays relevant? And how can I make sure that I'm here for my children and here for my potential grandchildren and my husband? And we have to take care of who we are in every way so that we can age well. So moving on from gut health, what about movement? So we talked about yoga. What other movements? I would say anything that there's Tai Chi, that you do martial arts, you do boxing, right? Even if you start small, I like to blare my music and clean, and I will dance while I clean. And that's a form of movement for me. Have I been doing that lately? No, but
yeah, absolutely. Maybe you do Zumba. Maybe you go for a walk, you and your husband, every evening after dinner. Spend that half hour outside, hour, go for a walk around the block. That is exercise, and it's very low cost. All it's going to take you is a little bit of time. Maybe you like to go bike riding or swimming. Any activity that you do is a good activity. It's better than being sedentary. We spend far too much of our time just sitting and not moving. And especially if you're going to start looking at going outside, we're supposed to be outside. We are not designed to be sitting in these houses that we do. We're supposed to be connecting with nature, the fresh air, the grass, the trees. All of that is very good for our health and our well-being, our mental health.
Yeah, it's definitely true. Speaking of mental health, that's another one about aging well. It's number one. I will get aggressive. That's what the show's about, right? Passion topics. Number one, aging well when it comes to mentality is putting yourself first.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people even, okay, so we live in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. We moved a few years ago, we moved provinces. We moved to northern BC, and I was still slightly active after we moved, but not as much. And then we moved to Alberta. I was working for a little bit, and then we bought an acreage. And you would think buying an acreage that I would be outside all the time. I bought horses. I would be doing stuff. I got really lazy. I didn't like where I was living. I felt like I was a butterfly trapped in a beautiful cage because it was gorgeous where we lived. But I wasn't living authentic to me. It wasn't where I needed to be. There was a lot of tension, blah, blah, blah. That's where I gained majority of my weight. I had another child during that time, but I gained a ton of weight. And I moved back home and I became active. I started doing trade shows in our local trade shows, and I lost 20 pounds within the first few months, right? And it was just being active. Now I'm not so active because COVID, and we've been, shut up in, and my daughter's allergic to the cold and I'm allergic to the sun and heat. So but finding ways that work for you, right? So me dancing while I'm cleaning, me going outside and shoveling because we have a ton of snow, me going outside and shoveling, going for walks if the chance arises, right? But sedentary, I sit at a computer. I'm running a talk show. I'm running a coaching business, a spiritual teaching business, doing pre-screening interviews all day. And so, yeah, I am at a computer majority of the day.
So maybe you're going to do a little bit of a gentle stretch chair yoga for some time, right? It'll give you a bit of movement. It gets you out of that chair. There's various ones available. Some of them include some standing postures, and it helps you find that movement. Perhaps you have some space in your home. You can stream a live yoga class, or some people have stationary bikes in their house that you can do that without having to leave the house, because I know it's an issue of time, and we've been dealing with COVID and everybody's kind of in a different state right now. So for some folks that really works. Others want to get out and socialize. And as the weather starts to turn, that would be your opportunity maybe to take that evening walk or stroll, or head back to the gym. If that's what your thing is, head back to the swimming pool just to find that movement. Or when you're younger, you play sports. So you might play hockey or soccer or whatever there is. And that gives you the ability to do that movement. We tend to slow down on all those organized sports as we age, and most of us kind of back off of them entirely, right? So we tend to sit. Yeah. So now it's time to start reintroducing movement, but in my opinion, a little more gentle. Not all of us are excited to have a puck flying at our face. So perhaps that's not the ideal for all of us, but that's okay. It doesn't have to be an organized sport. It just has to be some sort of a movement, ideally that you're doing all the time. So if walking is where it helps you get there, then that's what you do.
We used to have a group of moms. I never joined because I was lazy, but we had a group of moms that would go and walk a track, right, inside of a mall. We've got mall walkers here, which will walk through the mall just to get that exercise, right? And they're indoors and you don't have to worry about it. There are lots of little things that everybody can do to create a sense of activity for your body, whether that and making sure that it's gentle, right? And I want to talk from my own experience is once you stop doing those things, whether you're young, whether you're middle-aged, whether you're getting up there, if you stop doing those activities and you stop creating that balance of food and activity and motivation and mindset, you will gain the weight, right? You'll gain weight, you'll become unhealthy, you'll have other physical attributes that create more issues for you. And then trying to change at that point then becomes 10 times harder, right? I'm comfortable now. I know I'm overweight. I know I'm not healthy. I'm comfortable. But I have to now fight. Okay, now I have to get up. I have to do this. I have to do that. And now I have to change everything about what I'm doing for my own health. I've got the mental health down. That's what I'm an expert in. But the physical health, the gut health, I have to work on that now. And again, it's a battle. If you let it go, it's a battle. Not saying you can't, have a week where you don't do anything or a day or two of not doing anything. That's totally fine. You have to listen to your body, but getting to that point of not doing anything, you're not going to notice the change until it's too late. And I didn't notice the change until it was too late. I looked down and I'm like, whoa, like, where did that pouch come from? I didn't have that before. And I didn't even realize that I had let myself go to that point. Not for anybody else. My husband loves me. He doesn't care, but I've still let myself go. And now it's a battle.
Yeah. And it's about our health, right? It's not about the bikini bod anymore. I think it is more about our health, our well-being. So a lot of us tend to carry a little more than we should in terms of weight. And it's been easy to creep up, especially since we've all been housebound, right? There were only a few places you could go and we stuck to our homes. A lot of people were working from home on top of it all. So the whole world revolved around your home. So now here we are with the aftermath, and you've got to have a look at your health and well-being. And I'm kind of looking at, it's not all about being as slim as possibly, not all of us are destined to be size zero, right? Really, truly.
Yeah.
We're just not. I never was.
You can have women who are a bigger size, right? You can have women who are plus size, but they're healthy. Mm-hmm. They're active, they're healthy, they look great, they feel great. There is no one set body size or style that says, oh, to my eyes, they're overweight, they must be unhealthy and obese. No, that's not. And that's where the judgment comes in. I hate judgment. It drives me nuts.
Yep. We've been raised on it through the media over the years, right? What somebody has decided we should look like, but we're not all the same. So we not all look the same.
Was it the 50s where full figure, you'd wear the full bathing suit, right? And those are coming back, the full shorts style bathing suits, right? I think that was that the 50s.
Yeah, somewhere around there. Yep.
And full figure was the body style, right? Marilyn Monroe. Mm-hmm. I just heard one of the other ones. Mariska Hargitay's mom, and I probably butchered her name.
Yeah. Sharon Tate?
No. No, I can't
Right.
remember what her name is, but
All
there's
right.
so many beautiful actresses that we looked up to and we embody even now, like Marilyn Monroe,
Mhm.
who was a full figure.
Mhm.
She had the bust, she had the bottom, she, she wasn't skin and bone. And then there's people who are skin and bone, and that's not bad. As long as they're healthy, as long as they're, it's again, you can have different aspects of that spectrum and still be healthy. Aging well, like the show, right? Body, mind, and spirit depends on your unique style. And I'm always one for touting unique identity, right? You're
Mhm.
not going to be the same as I'm going to be.
Yeah.
It's like hairstyle. It's
Mhm.
like hairstyle, right? I don't do anything with my hair other than straighten it. And I like my hair long. I don't like my hair short. But my daughter got a pixie.
Mhm.
And I'm like, it looks great on her.
Mhm.
Different body, right? Different personality, different identity, different needs.
Mhm.
And that's what aging well in the long run needs to be for everybody.
Absolutely, because we are all different. Our genetics are different. Our diet is different. How we see people. I may be more active than you, but that's just because my body lends itself up to that sort of thing. And my interest, I want to go hiking. That's not what makes you happy. You may want to go swimming instead. As long as it feels good and you're getting the exercise, it's all good.
Yeah, swimming is my favorite. If I had a pool in my house, I would swim every day for an hour and I would just do laps back and forth. I'd probably put music on. I wouldn't give a crap what anybody else was. I would just swim, right? I would schedule out a day or an hour every day to just swim because I'm at home. And it's easier when you have these things at home. I'm not saying everybody needs to go and buy a pool or anything along those lines, but if you are like me and don't like leaving the house very often, having something here would be a lot easier to just go and do it. But the next thing I wanted to say was it's not too early and it's not too late to start, right? So for younger generations who think, oh, I don't need to do that yet, I don't worry about that yet, it's never too early to start, even if you're just starting to build awareness of your body. What do you like? What do you dislike? What does your body need? And just be aware and notice those changes as you age. That is a huge step in the right direction. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, even getting used to the idea of going for a walk. If you're getting milk from the corner store and you're a couple of blocks away, walk. Don't jump in the car automatically. Get yourself into the habit. That will help you in the long run, right? If you're older and it was never part of your thing, one of the things that they're discovering now is that some seniors who live independently are struggling. They are perhaps having difficulties getting up, right? It's a life skill to be able to get out of your chair, your couch. You've got to be able to lift your body. Those muscles need that movement. Or perhaps even a senior who like falls and breaks a hip because they tripped on the carpet. Balancing, our bodies forget that we need to balance. When we were kids, we did all this stuff naturally and all the time. As we age, we don't tend to do this so much anymore, but it's really important we do. So to be able to sit there and just practice getting up, even if you need the armrest of your chair, just keep getting up. Or to balance on one foot, hang on to the wall, hang on to a chair. This is why a chair yoga is a good thing for some folks that maybe your balance isn't so sturdy, or you have vertigo or any of those sorts of things, that your body remembers, oh yeah, we're supposed to do this. I can do this. So in that moment you trip, your body has an alternative instead of falling right on the ground.
Absolutely. We have a comment. Having something mentally available to stay fit and active for. I spent my weekend playing football with my 20-year-old son. I'm 49 now. And he stopped playing, but I continued. I pushed through because if I do, I mentally know I gain another weekend of being fit enough to play with my son. I love that. Absolutely love that. And it felt great. I felt like I was back at school, untethered to age of tiredness, aches, or fatigue. It was the best day we had spent together in a long, long time. He will always remember it. Absolutely logical robot. It's I feel what you felt. I'm just like, oh my God. I get so excited when I hear things like that because I can feel it for you. That's huge. When we do have children and as we get older, we want to be there. We want to experience those things. I had my first child at 19 and he's now 19. And, you know, eventually he might give me grandchildren and so might my children or my other children, right? I want to be able to do things with them. I don't want to be the one sitting there who can't do anything because I didn't keep up with myself. So you're right. And it doesn't have to be, you were talking about the older generation. It doesn't have to be anything huge. It's one step at a time. That's
Absolutely.
literally it. One step at a time, small step, whatever you feel like you can achieve. And it doesn't have to be all right away. It can be, okay, I'm going to take a small walk to the end of the driveway and back.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow, I'm going to do the same thing. For the next few days, I'm just going to get to the driveway and back.
Yep. Or I'm going to pick up my mail or something little.
Yeah.
But just get into the habit of making that movement. And over time, you will be able to say, okay, I can do a little bit more. Because you didn't get to where you are overnight. So you're not going to be able to turn it around overnight. That's the reality. Everybody thinks, oh, I've got to do it. I've got to do everything and I've got to do it right now. And it's got to happen. And I should have lost 25 pounds within a month. Well, how long did it take you to gain that weight? How long did it take you to get here? So that's not realistic. Be realistic, be gentle with yourself, but start moving, start being mindful of what you're doing and what you're not doing. Absolutely. And some days you may just be not feeling it, and that's okay too.
Yeah. Mid episode little promo here. So this episode is sponsored by Phoenix Identity, which is my own company. And I wanted to point out something. So one of our viewers today commented about it felt great, right? The most empowered feeling you can get out of anything that you do, whether it's mindset work, physical activity, no matter what it is, the most empowered feeling you can get is when you choose to do something. The choice. You have the choice to take that step. You have the choice to be who you want to be. You have the choice to say, my life isn't working the way it is right now. I don't like it. I'm going to set it all on fire, not literally, figuratively. But we're going to set it all on fire and recreate something that you love. And that's a work in progress. It's choosing to take that first step. And that's why I wanted to take that quick mid episode break and say that Phoenix Identity, because that empowered feeling is what I create. That not what I create, what I encourage for my own clients is to create that choice of I'm making this decision, I'm making it for me. And when I actually do it, I'm going to be excited. It isn't the long-term goal that's the most important piece. It's the journey to get there. Every step that you take to get towards that goal is one step more of your confidence, one more step of your personal power, one step more of your self-love. You're creating a stepping stone during that journey. It's not the end result. That's the key. It's the journey itself. A lot of people will say, oh, I'll be happy when, and this drives me nuts. So give me a second. Logical Robot, agreed. I took to walking in circles around my local park, then 5-mile walks, then actively being able to run around once again. You have to want it for yourself as much as for the benefit of others. Absolutely. It always has to start with you. Always has to start with you. And now I totally forgot where I was going because that's just what happens. But is there anything you wanted to throw in while I try to remember what I was talking about?
So when we were talking about walking, one of the things that they've discovered with walking is if you walk for 3 times, at least 3 times a week, about a half an hour or so, you lower your risk of getting dementia in the future. So they are starting to discover so much more about physical activity, the benefits to our health, our well-being, how we feel, both physically, mentally, all that. It's huge. Like we never thought anything of it, right? You'd have to walk everywhere when you were a kid. It wasn't even a question. But now it's like, oh, wow, I want to walk because I don't want dementia. I want to be feeling better. I want to feel good in my body. I don't mind being outside in the trees, or if it's in the middle of winter and we have 12 feet of snow at -20, I'm going to the mall, right? At least I am physically moving.
Yep, absolutely. Oh, now I remembered. So it wasn't, when we're talking about goals, and this goes hand in hand with aging well and making those changes and starting, is if you tell me, Melissa, I'm going to be happy when, I'm going to tell you, stop right there. I don't want you to finish that sentence. You can be happy on the journey, right? And my daughter told me this the other day. She says, Mom, I'll be happy when. And I said, She goes, what do you mean? No. I said, if you tell me that you're going to be happy when some outcome is created, you are going to find something else to be unhappy about. Once that outcome is realized, you are going to find something else to make you unhappy, because it's not the outcome that's making you unhappy. It's something else. It's you, it's within you. Making those changes, whether it's mindset, whether it's physical, whether it's mental or emotional or spiritual, those changes are what's going to, the journey to get there. That's what teaches you how strong you are, how determined you are, how committed to self-love and aging well you are, is by taking those steps.
Yeah. So in yoga, one of the things that they always talk about is focusing on your breath. Okay. Breath brings you back to the present. Breath is referenced in meditation and everything else. And the idea of that breath and noticing your breathing, it brings you to where you are now. We just blindly speed walk or sleep through most of our life. I know I have driven from one destination to the other. I've gotten there safely, but couldn't tell you anything about my journey. And I know I'm not alone. We spend so much time running through life with that breath. It just live your life in the present. Enjoy every moment. If you want to play with your kids or your grandkids, or it wasn't, maybe it was a sad thing. Your child had something coming home from school, but you were able to bond over a bowl of ice cream. Enjoy that moment, right? Yep. Because it's not going to come around again. And if it does, it's not coming around exactly the same way. So live that life and stop worrying about what's coming. Yeah, we're going to get to the destination. But enjoy it right here, right now, for all it's worth. That to me is also a huge part of aging well. We are in such a rush, but I think these last 2 years have kind of put a spin on that a lot of folks have started to rethink. What are we rushing for? What are we rushing to?
The ultimate outcome.
And what's the cost of running so quickly, leaving everything behind, especially if you've got a growing family? They grow up really quickly. You're not going to get that time back, right?
Oh, I can speak to that. I have 4 ranging in age from 8 to 19. So I can definitely speak to that. They grow like weeds and you blink and it's different. And if anybody's been in a relationship or a job and it's like, really, I've been here that long. And then you're like, wow, where is the time gone? Right? Where is the time gone? We're all heading to the same destination. We're all heading there. We have 3 guarantees in life: death, taxes, and negativity. There's not a single person in this world who hasn't fought negativity in one way, shape, or form. Nobody is immune to it. But the whole purpose of life, and I I've heard this question asked before, and I giggle whenever anybody says, what's the purpose of life? I'm like, I know. The purpose of life is to experience. We're here to experience, not experience joy and happiness only. We're here to experience everything. We're here to experience free will, choice, freedom, subjugation. We're here to experience all the positive and negative things that the world has to throw at us so that we learn, so that we grow, so that we stand strong in who we are and what we want. We're meant to be here to learn. Whether you're spiritual or not, that's the purpose, is to experience. It doesn't have to be spiritual. It doesn't have to be woo or anything along those lines. We're here on earth to experience. That at its core, that's what it is.
Absolutely. And so you want to do that. You want to live your life with an amazing presence in it. You want to, and to do that, you need to take care of yourself. You need to, turn off the TV and go for a walk with your family. Maybe your kids are biking ahead of you. Maybe you go for swimming down to the beach. Perhaps you are cooking a meal with your family and everybody's doing something helping you in that. And you're cooking from the basics, nothing pre-prepared, no pickup, right from the vegetables, right? And that's part of it as well. To have a whole life, you're trying to take care of yourself. You're trying to live it as part of it, engaged totally, not on autopilot, but right in the middle of that life, whatever it looks like. And there's going to be amazing times and some that are not so, but the ones that are not so good remind you about how great the good ones are. Absolutely. That's all part and parcel.
You can't realize the positive and the love without the hate. There is no, it would just be normal. It would just be every day the same thing. And it's learning what those same things are. I am a one-time obese agoraphobic person. Walking outside, even just down a long road or through a park, truly does serve your mental health. Pop some music on, pace yourself, set a goal of so far, and rest to replenish with a snack and drink, and just get out of there and do it. Absolutely. Get out there and do it. So not out of there. Absolutely. It's this life that we're living and this life that we're experiencing is our own. And that has to be one of the biggest lessons I like to, it's your life. You're not living a life for your parents. You're not living a life for your children. You're not living a life for your finances, for your business, you're not living a life that's not for you. It's all for you. It's about what you want, who you are, what you want to experience, what you want to learn, what you want to eat and drink, what activity you want to do. You're the one who is wholly and entirely responsible for your body, your mind, your spirit, your energy, your health, all of it, all of it. And I'm not trying to call people out, because that's not I do call people out on that, but it's because we are our only constant. From the day you're born until the day you die, you are your only constant. Nobody is going to be there from birth to death with you. It's your life. And these little things, you can say, oh, well, so-and-so told me not to do this, or so-and-so told me to do this. What do you want to do? We're not telling you have to do anything. We're giving you, hey, think about doing this. Find what works for you. Think about eating healthy. Find what works for you. Think about, being active. Find what works for you. It's all about your unique individuality and what works for you. And too many people get caught up with, I have to do it this way, or I have to do it that way, or I have to do it that way. I'm one of the benefits of the show for me is to be able to say it's not all one way. Meditation is a huge one for me. And you can go back through multiple episodes that I've done where I've said, I will fight the purpose of meditation, because everybody says, oh, it's to clear your mind. It's not to clear your mind. If you clear, and this is where I go with this, you can clear your emotions. When you can calm your emotions so that you're not emotionally charged by an idea, an experience, a thought, a choice, you can logically process it. If you're feeling stuck, and if you clear that emotion of feeling stuck so that you no longer feel stuck, you can see your way out of that and say, I can do this. If you look at aging well and say, it's too much, I don't know where to start, I'm overwhelmed, whether that goes with spirituality, that goes with identity, that goes with everything, there's overwhelming. If you take a moment to clear those emotions and say, okay, what do I want? That's the first step. It's clearing those emotions, saying, what do I want? What do I feel? And aging well starts with that. What does your body need? What do you feel like doing? What works for you? Is it swimming? Is it walking? Is it playing with your kids, playing with your dog? Is it dancing while you're listening to music and cleaning your house and pretending that your broom or your vacuum is your dance partner? I don't know, whatever it may be, right? You have to figure out what works for you, and taking those one little itty bitty steps at a time and saying, this is what I want. That's empowering. Mm-hmm. Absolutely empowering. We have another comment. And think that as your loved one sees results, seeing you healthier means so much to their own mental health. You aging is already enough to stress them out, to make them worry, make it a little easier on them. Again, think you all benefit. Absolutely you do. If your kids and your loved ones see you making an effort and putting yourself first, and I love you. Whoever's watching, I love you. I'm going to shout out some love to you because you're talking my language. When you put yourself first, you're teaching everybody else to. You're empowering everybody else to. You might get on their toes at first, right? Like, oh my goodness, they put boundaries up. I can't walk all over them. But then they're like, maybe I should do that. Mm-hmm. Kids are horrible for that. Horrible for that.
Now, you started with meditation, and so I just wanted to comment on Absolutely. That. Anybody who meditates or prays, they found that people who participate in those sorts of activities, if they're going into the hospital or they have some sort of significant health challenges or problems, they're able to address them and process them in a much better way. Either one, compared to people who do neither.
Yep.
So it's huge. And it's not about clearing your mind, it's settling. It's, you're balanced, you're settled, you're okay, the day brings me whatever the day brings me, good, bad, a little bit of both, and that's okay. I'm ready to handle it. And it kind of settles down your stress level, your nerves, and you're ready to move forward.
Yep.
So that's that. I just felt I had to add that comment to
Absolutely.
Meditation.
It's literally just calming those emotions, right? When you're unemotional about an outcome or what you're experiencing, it changes your thought processes, right? Then you're not being inundated by those emotions. I meditate all the time, but my meditation is whatever relaxes my emotions. So it could be mindlessly reading a book. It could be binge watching a TV show where I don't have to think and my emotions calm down. It could be driving in my car, screaming at the top of my lungs, listening to music on my way to nowhere because that's my happy place. It could be cleaning my house and listening. Whatever relaxes your body and emotions is a meditation. Coloring in a coloring book, whether it's an adult coloring book with swears all over, doesn't matter. Whatever relaxes you is a meditation because it's relaxing. I always tell people to do the 15-second breathing technique. I think I say this on every video, but do the 15-second breathing technique. Inhale and count to 5 while you're inhaling, hold for 5, and then exhale on 5. And that 15 seconds is revolutionary on how calm and relaxed your body becomes. Like it's so amazing. And it's 15 seconds. You don't have to spend hours or 20 minutes or 15 minutes or 5 minutes. It's 15 seconds. So for anybody who says I don't have enough time, it's a 15-second breathing technique. You can do it while somebody's talking to you. It's 15 seconds. I love that one. That one's one of my favorites.
Breathing is huge. Back to yoga. Breathing is huge. Yeah. As you're talking about your 15-second technique, I'm thinking about what's called a square breath. So you inhale through the nose, say for a count of 4. Once you reach the count of 4, hold your breath for a count of 4. Exhale through the nose for a count of 4. Hold for a count of 4. And that's considered a square breathing. Same
so the
idea.
15-second is exactly the same. They call it the box breathing.
Yep, exactly the same thing. It does not take you long. It calms you down. If you're in a stressful situation, maybe step out of that, catch your breath. Your body is a little calmer and a little clearer, so you can deal with whatever's coming your way.
Yeah, absolutely. In a logical way, not a reactive. Reaction is emotional. Response is logical. Remember that. So whatever it is that you're trying to change, however way you want to age well, start with those baby steps. Start with calming yourself. Start with thinking about, what do I need? Reconnecting to who you are, your identity, your core, and saying, what do I need? How has my body changed? What can I do? Little steps to just promote healthy aging. Excuse me, and go from there. Is there anything else you'd like to add for healthy aging?
Just that it is a combination of all of the things. As we've said, you don't have to go right into the deep end and that's it. You know, if your diet is not where you'd like it to be, maybe one night maybe as a family, you sit there and you do your dinner together and you do it right from the basics. Maybe you have a meatless Monday. If you eat, our body does not eat meat 7 days a week. And I know there's so many folks that love their meat. And yeah, we all grew up on it, right? Because we had the luxury of access to it. But maybe Saturday night's the fun night, and you involve the kids and you do homemade pizzas and you do different salads, or figure out a recipe everybody would enjoy. And just one step at a time is all it takes. Just be part of that step. Yep. Start a little bit of movement. If your body's not good at balancing, hang on to the wall, bend your knee, kick your heel back, right? One step at a time. Doesn't have to be at once, but get started. Regardless of what your age is, get started.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. Again, it all starts with you, right? It all starts with what you want to do, what you want to change, how you want to live. And think about your future, whether you're young, whether you're older, whether you're middle-aged, whatever that looks like to you. Sit there and ask yourself, is where I am right now where I want to be in 20 years, 30 years, 5 years even? And start by asking yourself that question. Where do I want to be? And if you're not on the track to where you want to be, start making those changes. And like you said, it's never too late and it's never too early to make the changes that are going to give you mind, body, and spiritual health in whatever way, shape, or form that looks like for you. So I love that. I don't really have anything more to add. So I guess we could end now. I want to say thank you to everybody watching. Please like, follow, and share on whatever social media platform you are watching or engage with the show on. We do have social media platforms across all of them, or accounts across all social media platforms. Please connect with us at justalivetv.com. If you would like to be a co-host, if you have a topic you want to see featured, or if you'd like to sponsor the show, please get in touch with us at, again, justalivetv.com. And yeah, Thank you, Elisabeth, for joining me today. It's such an important topic and I think we're all a little bit on there, right? With aging well, it's definitely a focal point.
Yes. Thank you for having me. And yeah, I think it's huge. We just need to change our mindset and figure out what that means for us, right? Because we're all different, but it all encompasses our physical, mental, and all part of us, our soul
Absolutely.
as well. So hopefully we can find our own path to aging well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Elisabeth, for joining us. Again, everybody, thank you for watching Just Alive TV. I'm your host, Melissa Krechler. I would like to say today's episode is sponsored by A Phoenix Identity, where we help you take out your trash, light it all on fire in the dumpster, reclaim your identity, and create a life that is you're in charge of because you're creating it for you. So lots of love, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Please feel free to reach out with either myself or Elisabeth. Our links are in the description of this video or podcast, wherever you're watching. Make sure to connect, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye.